Matt, okay, as always, let's wrap up the show with one to watch. What is the stock that has your interest this coming week?
Well, I've talked about it a few times, and I don't think my war on cash basket will be complete until I get some green dot in my portfolio.
Hey now.
That's one that I'm really watching this week. They just reported earnings, reported a monster quarter. Earnings were up almost 70%, 14% revenue growth. They raised their full year guidance. And kind of one thing to point out is this is a company with massive growth potential. A lot of their partnerships that we've talked about are not reflected in their revenue yet because they're brand new. So they're growing revenue great just on their existing product lines. Their banking as a service is really picking up. And the number of active accounts, for example, is up 150,000 year over year just on their core business. And this is a business that has tremendous growth potential, but is already very profitable. Their guidance calls for earnings per share of about $3.20, which means they're trading at 25 times earnings, which if you look at the valuations of some of the other war on cash stocks, is rather cheap. So this business has tremendous potential, already very profitable, and I'm excited to see what they do over the next couple of years.
Good stuff. And what's the ticker?
GDOT.
Okay, I'm going a little bit unconventional this week. I'm going with Eventbrite. Ticker is EB. Now, what does Eventbrite have to do with payments? Austin is looking at me right now through the window thinking, shaking his head at me. And listen, okay, Eventbrite is a brand new company. New IPO just out on the public markets here recently. And Eventbrite itself is in event planning, event management for small-scale events to large-scale events and everywhere in between. But the neat thing about Eventbrite is this relationship they have with Square. They have a connection with Square, and that Square invested $25 million in Eventbrite back in August of 2017. And so we go back to Square's earnings real quick, and I just want to make the point that while Square did report GAAP profitability, it's worth knowing that the source of that GAAP profitability really was the mark to their Eventbrite investment. In other words, Eventbrite has panned out very well for them so far. So the stake that they held in Eventbrite became a little bit more valuable. They made a note in the call that it had about a $38 million positive impact on the earnings side for the quarter. Without it, Square would have actually been in a loss of about $17 million. So that's neither here nor there. But my point is that Square is going to be running Eventbrite payments platform here. They signed a contract that goes out through the next 5 years. A lot of attractive growth prospects with Eventbrite, which means there should be some interesting growth prospects for Square as well, given their partnership. So I'm looking forward to the earnings out later today. I'll learn a little bit more about Eventbrite and what they feel like the future has for them.